4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Michael got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
It's House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button. Now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple, but wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya in the morning as well, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it. Let you know anytime the show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, yeah, baby, yeah. Please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, baby, listen, here we go. We have our own mobile app. So whatever platform you watch, so wherever you get your apps from, not platform, wherever you get your apps from, it doesn't matter whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart or Kmart or 7-Eleven or Zayre, Zemsky's, Macy, Montgomery Ward's, Webolt's, Gold Blast, whatever. Just go there, type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council the third. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. At Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put it there next to all the big boys, Netflix, Hulu, Max, as I was watching Power, the final season of Power, Book 2, Apple, Prime, Disney Plus, Stars, Paramount Plus, put it right there. I'll run the big screen right, Mickey, Vicky, now. You can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram, just follow her Maya_Kai. Listen, we have a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube or a mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen, incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. That's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's see. Let's check the chat out. It is jumping already. Lord have mercy. Levette Lee's in the house. Good morning, Mama. Happy House Music Monday to you, too. I appreciate it. Cornelius Squalls, what up, what up, what up? Sports Zoners, Bears fans, we have a problem? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. LaShawn Walls in the house. What up? On a House Music Monday. That's what I'm talking about. Kevin Scott, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. My man, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., that's my dude. What's up, Junior? Glad you're home, Papa. Good to thank you for tuning in. Mr. Shode is in the house. What up? What up? Overreaction Monday time. I don't know about overreaction. I think hard reaction is what I think it's hard reaction Monday time. That I can roll with. Jay Grizz in the house. Buenos dias. Buenos dias, Papa. How you doing? Who else? Jay Grizz is like, did I mention how much I hate losing? Dude, you and me both, man. You and me both. It is yeah, it's crazy. Listen, I don't know a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Listen, we have a great show. 10 o'clock, my man Glynn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago is going to join us. He's going to join us at 10 to talk White Sox. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Talk Bears and where he sees this situation going now. We're 1-2. And I don't take kindly to being made to be made to look like a fool. I can do that all by myself. But I don't need Shane Waldron to make me look like a bigger fool when I vouch for him big time in the offseason. Foul C in the house. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Thanks for tuning in, baby. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, so you know what? Jay Grizz, Bears look like they are clueless. Coaches, players, and management. Yeah. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. There's a lot of things we're going to get into, and there's a big issue hanging over our head. Do the Bears have an identity? You know what we were talking about. The Bears need one. Maybe they have one. And if they have one, it's not one that we like. Okay. I had almost a whole day to think about it. I had definitely a bus trip home from Indianapolis yesterday to think about it, along with other things. Yeah, so I didn't get to hear all the immediate comments and everything else like that. So I'm anxious to see how many people are going to come up with the same thing or have said this. Actually, I don't really care because it's what I'm thinking. But we have a lot to talk about there. We have a little baseball to talk. Okay, the White Sox. Wow. Thank God they can't lose today because they are off. Tomorrow might be the day. And I should be at that game, but I won't be. I don't believe I will be. I shouldn't say I won't. I don't believe I will be. Tomorrow is St. Rita Day. St. Rita Day. They had scheduled it earlier in the year, and it got rained out, so they rescheduled it for tomorrow. And tomorrow might be the day that the White Sox break the record. So we're gonna talk a little bit about them. We're talking a little bit about the Cubs as well. Cub fans, I told you I wasn't being. I thought they actually had a chance to make the playoffs this year. I really did. And then as the season rolled on, there were a lot of things in there that just made me think that they weren't going to make it. The All-Star break was one of them. Yeah, the All-Star break. Once they finished the All-Star break with the All-Star break with the same record as they had last year, I was hoping they can. Or I shouldn't say I. Cub fans were hoping they could take a similar path to last year, where they went on a run and they, got eliminated a game or two before the last game of the year, but they only lost it by one game. They missed it by one game. So yeah, it was really, really unfortunate for Cub fans. And I'm telling you what, if the Sox weren't doing as horrendously bad as they're doing now, the Cubs would be getting a lot more heat than they're getting. They're getting heat, don't get me wrong, but due to the Sox doing what they're doing, like, don't worry, Cubs, we got you. We'll take all the heat off of you, off of your wasted season when you should have been running away with the NL Central, stealing the manager from the team that took the division last year, but they didn't. Man, let me just say, partying with the Smoke Fellas is not for the faint of heart. Let me just say that. Drive down to Indy. I'm telling you, if you follow me on Facebook, do that. You'll hear the music in the background. I did a couple videos from the trip down there, and man, it was jumping. It was jumping on the way down there. We were excited. We started drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning. We were fired up on Saturday morning. It was fired up. We were fired up. We had a lot of, and we had talked about it. I was sitting next to one of the Smoke Fellas on the way down, and Kevin and I were talking about run the ball. 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 I said if we ran the ball, we established a run. Then we'd have a great chance to win. The Colts had given up an average of 237 yards a game in the first two games. Excuse me, 237 yards a game. Average 475 yards they gave up in two games. And we got, 60? You know, we're going to talk about that. And you saw the thumbnail. You saw the thumbnail. It's a great job by my Steve with the thumbnail. I thought it was freaking perfect. Look at it. Well, in case you didn't see it, peep this. This could not be more apropos. This could not be more appropriate at all. Ghosts of OC's past. Because the play calling was horseshit. You know what? I can't even say it was horseshit, because that's an insult to horseshit play calling. That's an insult to that bad play calling. You know, yes, Junior, Waldron's the smartest guy. Boy, there's a lot of people going around, you know what I mean? A lot of people want to take that mantra, the smartest guy, and it's silly. Silly, scary. All right, we had a lot of guys here who like to do that. Getsy, all right, right before him, we had Nagy. Yeah, scary. Foul Mile C says, yeah, he says Waldron couldn't call two good plays in a row. He couldn't. Mr. Shorty said, I was happy to see Roshan with more playing time. Me too. Where's Khalil? This O-line is not good. Khalil obviously has pissed somebody off. I don't know what the hell the situation is there. I have no idea. Junior says, Steve-O, that's awesome. The thumbnail. Cornelius says, Steve, great job, Steve, because you're spot on. You're damn right. Kevin Scott says, preach, Shawn. Emma Sean Wall says, Netsy. Nagy, I might as well put them together. Netsy, Nagy, Getsy, and now Waldron. Foul Mouth C says, was it me or the Bears ran a lot better with Caleb Anderson? Yes, because the defense they have to respect play action. Okay, they have to, and yeah. But you know what? Everyone's like, "Oh, well, he was a shotgun most of the time, and in college, and people want to change him." Like, look, this is the way the NFL is working. This is the way the NFL works. You're not at that point, and you have to adjust. Period. You have to adjust to the speed of the game. You're gonna have to adjust to going under center. So, I don't know. Steve in the back says Waldron has yet to set up two plays that work off each other. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Mr. Shorty said the 3rd and goal was a good play if Caleb would have play action left and roll right to a tight end cutting across the grain. You know, why, Mr. Shorty, you're going to get me fired up already. You know, that play calling was horrendous. It was embarrassing. It was a debacle. And Bear fans should be embarrassed to be Bear fans with this coaching staff. All right? I am telling you, I must remove the egg from my face. You know what? I'll tell you this. I'll give it one more week before I really go off. But man, I stood on a soapbox and praised Shane Waldron all off season. Remember, I said the best acquisition this off season was Shane Waldron. Do you remember that? I know you said it, and but right now he's making me look like an idiot. I said I don't need help, Shane. I can do that all by myself. Thank you very much. The play calling, the play selection, the play formation was ridiculous. All snap, Planks in the house. Good morning, Papa. How are you? Oh, here you go. Good morning, sports owners. Bear down, baby. I love it. I love it. Right. If he runs better than shotgun. Chris, I agree with you. You know what? It needs to be, you got to understand, it's a lot easier to confuse a defense, okay? Under center. Much easier. Much easier. Kevin, you're starting to get the hair on my arm standing up. This is one thing that they did not do. This is the one thing that I was saying this entire time is your inability, all right, to impose your will, set the tone. Set the tone. All right, you should have gone in, and I know we ran 38 times. Okay, but what runs did we have? The runs out of the shotgun? Crap. Give me some counters, give me some pulls, give me some powers, give me some downhill runs. Okay, my question is, why didn't you run at the person who was taking over for DeForest Buckner? Why didn't you go after his replacement? Why didn't you go immediately after him all day long? And don't get me wrong, Indianapolis knew they'd given up the most yards up in the first two games, but damn it. You're not even hitting them with play action, tight end pop. You're not you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things you could have done, and you chose not to do. Steve-O says in our chat, says both of the ISO runs that they ran went for at least 7 yards. Well, that's a crazy idea. ISO where Shawn needs to be the bread and butter. I agree. You know, and I still don't understand what his issue is with Khalil. Like, if you're going to go outside zone, cool. But use Khalil. Khalil can catch out of the backfield. Okay. Caleb had some struggles. And here's the thing that I want to tell you. All right. All you guys wanted, many of you guys wanted Caleb. Okay. But he's a rookie quarterback, and that comes with some rookie growing pains. Okay? That's what that comes with. You know what, Mr. Shorty, I hear you. No matter how you look at it, 400 yards of offense is progression. Okay. I'm okay with it to a certain extent. I'll roll with it to a certain extent. But when you can't get the 2 yards that you need, that 400 yards don't mean shit. When you can't get the 2 or 3 yards that you need, the 1 yard that you need, all that don't mean shit. Okay? To me, you know what that is? That's like a guy who hits 50 homers, okay, in a year. But 35 of those homers came when they were up by 4 runs or down by 4 runs. All right? Garbage time. Okay? We need those yards when we need them. All right? It's not about, and here's the thing that people are worried about. They're worried about I don't care about the yards. I care about the efficiency. That's what I care about. It's not the yards, it's the efficiency. It's the efficiency that is getting me. Cornelius, you're right. 55 passes. I don't think it was 55. It was, let me see. 52. He dropped 52 pass attempts. He probably dropped back more with those sacks. I agree. Steve-O says yards don't win games. You're damn right, buddy. Yards don't win it. Time of possession doesn't win it. You got to score. You got to get the yards needed in crucial moments of the game. And that was what we couldn't do. So, yeah, not happy with and we're gonna talk about it more. Not happy. A lot of things that need to be worked on, and I think the mindset of Shane Waldron is one of them. You have to decide, okay? And maybe he's decided already. Okay? But us not going to going out to intimidate people. Us not going out to embarrass a defense that had given up 475 yards in the first 2 games. Us not going out to attack it and attack it with intent is embarrassing. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this. Well, difference now is we have a quarterback who can and wants to throw the ball 55 times a game. Well, being able to throw, that's still not a formula, Shorty. You know, it's still not a formula. Yeah, he can throw it. Hell, our previous quarterback threw it 55 times a game, but that wasn't the formula with him yet either because he wasn't developed. This quarterback is not developed. I wish someone would tell this guy, tell Caleb that you running around is not going to get it done. All right, you have to understand that, and I thought you would have figured it out by now. But these defensive linemen are bigger, stronger, faster, and quicker. So your little shake, stop, shake, go to the right, and always going to the left and not rolling to the right, it's on film. If I could tell you, if I'm able to see it, what do you think other defensive coordinators who are getting paid 6 figures, 7 figures to do their job, what do you think they're saying? They can see it as well. And they're relaying that message. So, you know, Caleb he's got to do some searching. Steve says Caleb's running for his life. I don't think he's choosing to do so. No, I don't think he is either. But I also think that there's got to come a point in time where he's got to run. Okay? There's a point in time where he's got to run. Okay? Because he misses. If he's not going to be able to hit, everyone talked about, he threw his beautiful ball to Rome, the one down the sideline where he was rolling left. Okay, good. Well, then guess what? This time he has it, he missed it. And the one he hit Rome on was a much more difficult throw than the one yesterday. He's got to come down with those. If that's your calling card that you can roll left and throw right and hit people down on the fly, then you got to do it more often than not. And he missed them big time. Listen, let me take a quick break because I'm getting fired up and I want to calm down a little bit. Let's take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we'll come back. We'll have some more. We'll do top of the morning topics. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Effort trying to think about how to best defend against the run. On third down, Cole Kmet makes the catch. Roschon Johnson in at running back for the Bears. And he gets the handoff here. And right up the middle, close to midfield. It's DeAndre Swift at running back. Real heavy on this side. It's a pass. DJ Moore. He's got the first down. To the 42-yard line. Branson goes in motion. Richardson moving left, throwing, intercepted! What a terrible mistake by Richardson. And coming away with it, the ball was tipped. But a critical mistake by Richardson. Williams now looking deep for Adunze. He's got it to the 35.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Yeah. Good stuff. But listen, let's get right to it. Guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
The first top of the morning topic, you know what it is, the Bears. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. The Bears lose to the Indianapolis Colts 21-16 yesterday down in Naptown. I was down there, Naptown. Man, it was a lot of Bears fans to take over. It was crazy. Caleb Williams, 33 of 52, 363 yards, 2 tutties, 2 picks for an 80.8 quarterback rating. Roschon Johnson, 8 carries, 30 yards. Rome Odunze, 6 receptions, 112 yards. His first touchdown in his career. Cole Kmet with 10 catches, 97 yards and a tutty. And it was great to see Rome and Caleb connect. And I thought that was kind of funny at the end. They were arguing over who's going to get the ball. I thought that was hilarious. Then in the post game, Rome said he's keeping it. Yeah, so that was a tough one yesterday. This was a game we needed to have, and unfortunately, we didn't get. All right, now we're 1-2. All right, on a 2-game losing streak. Yesterday would have put us in a good spot. We were in last place in our division. We would have been tied for second with Green Bay and Detroit, as Minnesota's undefeated. They are 3-0 atop the division, and that's something we needed to take care of, but we didn't. We'll talk about this more. The next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. All right, Scrub fans. The Cubs shut out the Washington Nationals 5-0 yesterday at the friendly confines. It was showtime, baby. Shota Imanaga, he got the win. His 15th of the year. He's 15-3 on the season, 7 innings, 6 hits. Obviously, no runs, no walks as well for him, which was excellent, with 4 punch-outs. Miguel Amaya, 2 for 3 with a double, his 13th of the season with a homer, his 8th of the season, driving in his 44th and 45th runs of the season. Michael Tauchman was 1 for 2 with a homer, his 7th on the season, driving in his 27th. Michael Busch was 2 for 4 with a double, his 28th, a homer, his 28th, and driving in his 65th RBI of the season. No rest for the weary. The Cubs, they continue on. They head over to the city of brotherly love. The Cubs face the Phillies today. There you go. Who puts these things in? Oh, I do. Never mind. The Cubs face the Phillies today. First pitch is at 5:40 local time. You can catch them on the Marquee Network or their flagship 6:70 a.m. Probables for today. The Cubs, for the Northsiders, they tried out Nate Pearson, who's 2-2 with a 4.71 ERA, going up against Aaron Nola. For the Phils, who's 12-8 with a 3.54 ERA. The next top of the morning topic, boy, my White Sox. The White Sox lose to the Padres 4-2 yesterday. Sean Burke got a no decision. This is a hell of a game for this young man. This is a quality start for this kid. A no decision, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 free pass, 8 punch outs. That's a nice day at the office. That's a nice day at the office. 1 earned run over 6 innings. That's a nice day at the office. Here's where your bullpen needs to come in and seal the deal, but just don't. Miguel Vargas, 2 for 4 with a homer, his 5th of the season, driving in his 16th run of the year. And Corey Lee was 1 for 3 with an RBI, his 33rd. Andrew Vaughn contributed 1 for 4 on the day. Yesterday was a historic day for the White Sox, and Tuesday might be a more historic or infamous day for the White Sox. Yesterday, the White Sox reached the 120 loss mark with six games to go. 120 losses ties the record for the most losses in the modern era with the 1962 expansion Mets. They're an expansion team, and they lost 120 games. And let me see. I don't know what, and this is why it was a 62 Mets. This is the situation with that I think a lot of Sox fans are feeling. All right, let me get this down. The indifference that this management team has, their inability to try something new, the refusal to change. It's the same shit, different day, different decade. Okay. Junior, I see. What's a cutback? We were talking about that. Oh, a cut block. Sorry. It almost seems like he just doesn't. He does things just to piss us off. And here's the problem. You bring nobody in from the outside to tell you what's wrong. Nobody. Everyone you promote is within. The only person you brought in from outside was one of your best friends, Tony La Russa. And you only brought him in because you're trying to make up for the 1980, the early 80s firing of him by Hawk Harrelson. The things that you put Sox fans through, is criminal. Okay? From the hiring in the front office from yes men. All right. And the article, remember we talked about it on Friday. There was an article in the Athletic. All right, that talked about the dysfunction. They interviewed 40 foreign or current players and employees. Obviously, most of them, especially if you're working there now, agreed to do so under the condition of anonymity because you don't want to lose your job talking against the owner. And then Jake Peavy was on a podcast, I believe it was a podcast, and he was talking about the craziness. He added fuel to the fire. And just talked about everyone was on different pages, from Herb Schneider, the training staff, to the managers, to everything. And the thing is, I don't know. And obviously Jerry doesn't care because, or put it this way, it seems like he doesn't care. And that's the problem. Because if you cared, you would do more for this team. You don't just bring people up And that's the problem that most Sox fans are having. Like, you promote people from within, and Jerry's whole thing is if he brought someone in from the outside, it would take a lot longer for them to learn the system and the organization. I'm like, no, it'd be a lot easier. It'd be a lot easier because you come in, you say, this guy doesn't work, this guy doesn't work, this guy doesn't, this work, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You're out. That's how it would work. So looking at us pissing, he's looking at us pissing on our shoes and telling us it's raining. It says, oh, Chris Getz is the shortest path back to the World Series. No, he's not. Chris Getz is horrible. He's horrible. Okay, I've outlined him. I've talked about that situation. He was in charge of the minor league system, and after the talent that Rick Hahn got, we're talking Yo-Yo and Eloy and Lou Bob and TA. After Giolito, all those pitchers, Dylan Cease. After he got all those guys in there, who was drafted? TA was the only one drafted. Only one drafted by us. Everybody else was acquired. So after having one of the top minor league systems back in, 2017, 16, 15, 18, okay? When those guys came up, our minor league system fell to the bottom. So I think they said we've only had 3 in the last 30 years or 40 years of people that we've developed become an all-star. Homegrown, we've drafted and developed. TA was one, Frank was another one, and then there's one other person that we actually drafted and developed. So you have a guy who's in charge of stuff of the situation of drafting talent, developing it, and we have 2 guys who become all-stars, 3 guys who become all-stars in this entire time frame. I know he wasn't around. He wasn't part of it when Frank was around, but excuse me, he was part of the development when TA was here, when TA was drafted. So it is so you hire this guy when he can't run your minor league system, you hire him to run the whole organization. Now, if that just ain't plain dumb, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. You hire some guy who's not good at a job much smaller, but then you hire him, you promote him to do a job much bigger in the organization. Issue with the White Sox. And tomorrow, as I said, tomorrow's St. Rita Day. It was postponed or pushed back until tomorrow. It was scheduled earlier in the year. We get like T-shirts and shit, whatever, if you order through a link. And they do. The Sox are smart, and they do a lot of hosting and having different nights. Like they'll have a lot of Catholic school nights on the South Side, De La Salle night, Brother Rice night, Marist night. They have Mother Macaulay night. All right, St. Lawrence, all these schools. So they get trying to keep people involved. But truth be told, I don't even want to go, and I'm not going to go. The hell with the damn T-shirt. All right, the hell with the T-shirt. I just think that they're an embarrassment. I don't think he cares. I think he's King Booker Will is stupid. King Booker Will says, I'm about to start telling folks I'm from Naperville. It's not Chicago. Keith Harris in the house. What's up, Bishop? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, King Booker World, you came in on fire as always, dude. That's classic. That's classic. So that's what we have. We got a White Sox team that owner doesn't give a damn about, although he claims that baseball is his favorite sport. They're a dumpster fire at best. You got a Cubs team who's just underperforming. All right, you signed some people, and they're not living up to their contracts. Not living up to their contracts. All right, Cody Bellinger, down year. I know he's hurt. Andy Swanson, the thing is, here's the thing that's important. And I talked to you about empty numbers. Like, I think a lot of Hawk Harrelson said this thing. Don't tell me how many you hit. Tell me when you hit them. Okay? You know, that's the key thing. When you come up, okay, and there's runners in scoring position, and I'm talking Cubs and Sox. I don't give a damn. This is Chicago baseball. We need you to drive them in. Okay? When you're down 6 or you're up 7 or 4 and you hit a home run, that's great. That's wonderful. How about you do it when we need it? Okay? That's the issue. Don't tell me how many you hit. Tell me when you hit them. How many homers did you hit that tied or gave you the lead? How many base hits or doubles or triples, or most people don't get triples. How many doubles did you get that gave the lead or tied the game? Those are the ones I want to know. Those are the ones I want to see. I want to see when you're clutch. That's when I want to see it. Not when you're up 4 or 5 and everyone's like, oh, great. Oh, look at, we're at 9. It's party. Oh, it's a blowout. No one gives a damn about the blowouts. Can you manufacture a run? Can you come through in the clutch when you're down 1 and two ducks are on the pond, and you can take the lead with a base hit or a gapper? Okay. I didn't watch a lot of Cubs baseball this year, so I can't really say too much. But the fundamentals, and unfortunately, this goes for all sports, especially the team on the lakefront. The fundamentals are gone, and that's bothersome. I've seen the Sox try and bunt a couple times. Great. Great. Too bad. Just how about you try not losing 120 games with a week left? Maybe we should bunt more often. We can't get a God-blessed hit. Keith, I disagree with you. He said, bro, there's no pressure to perform when the ballpark's always full. Ticket sales plummet. Perhaps they will get the attention of ownership and management. If you're talking White Sox, which I think you are, first of all, the stadium's not full. And if you're talking Bears, the stadium is almost full. But guess what? They don't make their money off of attendance. Nope. They make it off of the TV deals. That's where the majority of their money comes from. TV deals, and then second is merchandising. That's where the money comes from. Attendance is third or fourth. So if you're talking White Sox, how do you think he keeps making money? How do you think he keeps putting shit product on the field? Because he don't care. There was a game a couple of weeks ago. Remember, there was a doubleheader. The game got rained out the night before, so they had they said we'll make up a doubleheader. The next day. The next day, there were about 100 people to 200 people in the stands. They had more Andy Frain people there than fans in the stands. I want to see. I agree with you. That's what I want to see, because I want this O-line. I'm looking at King Book of Worlds. I want this owner, not O-line, but I want this owner to be embarrassed for not giving a damn and for putting us through all this bullshit that he's putting us through. Like, it doesn't. I never claimed to be the smartest guy. Okay? But I do know a little something about sports. I do know something about baseball, football, basketball, especially football. You know, sticking with baseball, I just don't like the development. Here's the thing, being a player for so long and a coach for so long, fundamentals are everything. Fundamentals are everything. Talent is great, but man, if you don't have the fundamentals, boom, it doesn't matter. If you don't hammer home fundamentals every God blessed practice. Can I just tell you, when I was at my St. Rita Grammar School with Coach Quinn and Coach Schaller, God rest their souls, those are the two best coaches I feel a football player could have had. They drilled the fundamentals. Then I get to St. Rita, more fundamentals. I get to Holy Cross, more fundamentals. This is in college. We're working on every single day in college. We're working on fundamentals. I tell you about the blitz pickup we'd have with the defensive ends and then the linebackers. Fundamentals are key. So every level of football that I have, from grammar school to high school to college. When I played professionally, we didn't work the fundamentals that much. But up to that point, the fundamentals had been drilled into me for 11 years. 11 years, 12 years, more than half of my life. At 21, the fundamentals had been instilled in me. And I don't see that with this team. And I get it. There's not a lot of practice time. But man, if this is what's wrong, then you need to focus on that. That's what they need to focus on. Baseball or football. I don't give a damn. Why are we worried about people bunting? Why are we worried about people stealing bases? See, people going crazy over Shohei Ohtani, and he's a freak. Don't get me wrong. But he stole 50 bases. 50 bases? 50 bases? That ain't shit. People were stealing 60, 80, 100 bases a year back in the day. But now it's like, no, we don't worry about the fundamentals. We don't worry about getting guys over. No. This is what I mean. Fundamentals. If every time you had a chance to steal a base, you did, think of the pressure you put on defenses. Now a base hit brings in a run. The White Sox had plenty of speed. Cubs had plenty of speed. Why aren't we seeing guys with 30 to 50 bases? Why? You know, because everyone wants to go with these analytics, and there's a certain thing that bothers me. Analytics don't do it all. They don't name it all. That's not the end-all, be-all. But you know what? You got some nerds who've never played the game. Like, yeah, I'm a nerd, and the prognosis says, it says if you have them bad, don't bunt here no, bump that. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people going away from the fundamentals of sports, baseball, football, basketball. I'm tired of the fundamentals being discarded for analytics. This is what the analytics say. How about fuck your analytics? How about you get a baseball person, get a real football person, get a real basketball person, and say, here, let's exploit it. Don't give me the damn numbers. I see a mismatch. This guy their third baseman is playing back. Bunt down the third base line, get on base. Or if we have a runner at second, bunt at the third baseman. He can't be in two places at once. He can't be going to get the ball and on third base. Like, these are the things that bug me. Not just from our baseball players, but from all sports. I'm just talking baseball right now, but all sports. The fundamentals are gone. And that is why our product, sucks. You look at these, how the hell did Cleveland get so far? How the hell did Milwaukee get so far? Why the hell did Kansas City get so far? They have talent. And Kansas City, if you fill the team with just people who were drafted by the Royals, you would have an all-star team. All-star team. Why? Because they draft and they develop their players big time. They just don't pay them. When it's time for them to come up, it's time for them to get their money. Like, yeah, you're too expensive for us. We got to let you go. Or they trade them. Okay? But man, this is frustrating, and they wonder why, or maybe they don't wonder why. Maybe they know they just don't care. I'm talking about my baseball team. Maybe they just don't care. I can tell you what, I have a good feeling that the Sox just don't care. I think the Cubs care a little more, but I really don't think the Sox care. And that's the sad part, which is why I'm not going to the game tomorrow. I'd love to go there and see them and say, you freaking losers. I feel bad. I go to CrossFit with this one girl who works for the White Sox. And I feel like, and I always feel like asking, how do you feel for working for such a shit organization? She's in group sales. But I don't ask her that. She's a young girl, so I don't mess with her like that. But oftentimes I feel, what? How do you feel work organization like you do? Like you got to be, you got to be invested in the wins too. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. But I digress. All right, listen. I'm gonna get off my soapbox for now. Actually, I'm not gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna move over and share it with my man. On the other side of the break, we're gonna have Glynn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago. We're gonna see what the hell's going on. I'm gonna talk about it. A very winnable game we let go by the wayside yesterday, and that was frustrating. I would have been tied for the second place in the division. Minnesota is playing unbelievably well. In 3 games, they beat the hell out of the Texans yesterday, wasn't it? They look good. They look real good. So on the other side of the break, my man Glynn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Chicago 1 for 6 on 3rd down. 0 for their last 5. Williams steps up, throws, locates Johnson. Johnson with a nice move, and he picks up the 1st down. Oh, what a great job after the catch by Roschon Johnson. A gain of 11. Williams floating one for a Dunze on time. What a throw by Caleb Williams. 3rd and 4. Carter trying to pinball his way forward, and he does. 3rd and 4. Williams. And that is Komet, and he lunges forward.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those were the Bad News Bears yesterday. Coming from Naptown. I was down there in Naptown, and man, oh man, not happy. Fans were not happy. But we're going to bring in my guest today, and I'm excited to talk to him Decided to talk to him and have him break it down because he's always a soothing voice and kind of get me off the edge because I'm livid. But I told you I'm going to wait another week. Give him 4 weeks. I'm talking about Shane Waldron. Give him 4 weeks before I really go nuclear and get off my lawn. Shawn really comes out. All right. You can find him. He's the draft analyst on NBC Sports Chicago. He is. You can find him on Twitter at True Glynn Morgan. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya. Glynn Morgan. Glynn, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good.
Hold on. What is?
It's not letting me
right.
do the show. There we go.
There you go. There we go. I had the wrong thing. I wanted to be the center of attention. Damn it! I just wanted the voice to help with me out. So talk to me, man. It was a very frustrating loss yesterday. This was a game that most people thought that the Bears could have and should have won. 21-16 was the final. It seemed like Indianapolis was literally gift wrapping this thing for us and giving it to us on a silver platter, and we refused to take it. Give me your thoughts on the game in general, but more importantly, the lack of a consistent running game.
Okay, I'll be short and sweet, man. We suck. Coaching's bad. Offensive line is not cohesive. The other team does a better job of not losing the game, and that we did a worse job at trying to win it. And that's it. That's all I got the time for. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, now I don't mess with the camera. Just got to readjust. I go being silly. But yeah, man, bro, it is very frustrating, and I apologize, man. I messed up the camera now, and it's gonna have to reset on this song. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably look better this way, so we'll just go with that. No, it's frustrating. The running game. You asked to talk about that specifically, and I'll just say off the bat that I don't put the onus of this on the running backs. Not the onus. Could they be better at picking holes? Sure. If they were used to seeing holes, it takes some time getting used to knowing where the hole is going to.
Definitely, there were no holes in the house yesterday. That's for sure.
No.
There were no holes in the house. No holes in the house.
No. So that's part of it. And an offensive line, yes, they're struggling. And to me, it looks like the offensive line, they're busy thinking and they're a step behind. And when the other team is better at being a step ahead of you and you're a step behind, they're 2 steps ahead of you, and it just looks worse. A prime example was the 4th and goal play where you do the goofy ass pitch out. And I'm at a bowling alley when this is happening, and everyone around me said they're about to do a pitch out, aren't they? Everybody at the bowling alley can see that. I'm sure the guys on the field, the Colts can see that, and it's annoying.
You mean this play, Glenn? You talking about this play right here?
If you want to call it a play, yes, exactly. And you see, there's 5 Colts already zeroed in on where he's going, and that's ridiculous. And not only that, but there were more Colts on that side on the line of scrimmage anyway. We were outnumbered. We didn't even have numbers to run to that side, so it's just. That's the kind of stuff where it's like, what are we doing here? And you're asking yourself these questions. Why? Not just what are we doing, but why are we doing it? That's what I want the Bears coaching staff to ask themselves. Hopefully, presumably before a game begins, when you're designing your game plan the week of, why are we doing this? Not just what are we doing, but why are we doing this? And why do we think this is going to work? And why are we doing this now? And you definitely should be considering that during the game when you have these calls to make. Why at 1st and goal, we can't get anything but 2 yards on 4th down? Why don't we just come away with some points? Why are we going for it? It's the first half. It's 7-0. The game is well within reach. We've done a better job in moving the ball at this point with our offense than they have. Why are we doing this? And that play doesn't make any sense.
Real quick, Glenn, the thing that really got me here is you mentioned the 5 Colts, and I see that. But the thing that's more embarrassing is there's 4 offensive linemen on the ground. Number 70, Braxton Jones. Right behind him, Tevinjenkins. Then the center who wanted to criticize the play. And I criticize it, but how about you block your man? And then Darnell right on the other side. Now, I don't know if he cut the dude or whatever. The only person was Matt Pryor, number 79, who's chasing. All right, 4 of our 5 offensive linemen are on the floor. On the goal line.
Right.
On the goal line. Not not in the middle of the field, not on the goal line.
And that's kind of my point. Which one's going to get better or closer? Man, this thing is still messed up. I apologize, Shawn. Oh, here we go. That's kind of my point, is that the line is a step behind. And when you're a step behind and they know that the opposition knows what they're doing, they're 2 steps ahead of you. So that looked way worse than it ever should have been, because they were beating us to the punch and they were past us already. And by us, I'm talking about the Bears offensive line. They were past the Bears offensive line already because they knew exactly where the play was going and what was happening. And so the Bears look triply worse at what's happening with this play, because they're too busy thinking and they're not in cohesion. It's like a bad chorus line. These guys are line dancers. And if one person is out of step, you're all out of step. The chorus line is just not going to look good. And that's the issue we're faced right now. It's coaching. Coaching has so much to do with the Bears' foibles at this point in time in the season. It really does, unequivocally. And I know I'm going to piss some people off here, and I really, frankly, don't give a flying F. And I know I love the chat, and I love everybody. And you can give me all your heat and hate, disdain, all the stuff. That's fine, because I know everyone's frustrated, and it comes from a place of frustration. It's not so much personal. But this is exactly, and I'm not saying, again, don't misread me. It's not about Justin. It's not about Caleb, because they're both doing things well, and they both have things where they need to grow. They're both young quarterbacks. It's not about those two at all. Understand. To me, it was more about the Bears organization and what you can do. We are still struggling with a depth issue. We're still struggling with a talent issue on the offensive line. Specifically, you have a situation where you don't have margin for error. We have a lot of nice shiny objects, and we have a Porsche on the outside, but we're running with a Pinto engine on the inside. And you look at organizations that are more established, and this is the point that I'm trying to make. You look at what Green Bay has just done. Malik Willis was not on the team until August 26th. He's been on the team for less than a month, 27 freaking days. The guy has over 300 yards passing, I think 2 or 3 touchdown passes, touchdown run, 114 yards rushing. So that's 400 yards of total offense, and he just got to the team. Why? Is it the coaching? Certainly, but it's also the house that he's in right now. He is in a better constructed, fortified situation. Offensive line is solid. The running game is solid. The receivers, they're no superstar receivers, but they're all very good and capable because they're well coached. They know where to go, et cetera, et cetera. The defense is full of a whole bunch of first rounders, and they finally have a coach that's utilizing that first round talent. And so Malik Willis gets there. Now he's playing with so much more confidence, and they gave him things to do that he could do. They didn't ask him to do things and be something that he isn't. And now he's playing with so much more confidence, and he's throwing some passes. You're like, I didn't think he was an accurate passer. He's throwing some really good passes, and he's only going to get better the more he plays and the more he's in that system. You take Sam Darnold, somebody I alluded to on your show months before the season began, and people were giving me crap about, oh, maybe you should be a Minnesota fan. You're not a Bears fan, blah, blah, blah. Like, think about me being a fan. I'm on your show. You bring me on your show to analyze, to speak to what I'm seeing, to give my precepts to the concepts of what I'm seeing out in the field. And I'm seeing Sam Darnold. Here's a guy struggle just like Justin in certain situations when you're in a bad environment. He went from a bad environment to the Jets to a worse one with Carolina to one to where he got purged. All that stuff got flushed out of him in San Francisco to where he could be back to where he was. And now you see him at Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell, really good at coordinating.
Excellent guy.
Yes. And not just putting the quarterback in the position to succeed, but the rest of the offense. That means offensive linemen to block how they can block to their abilities, receivers, so on and so forth. And you give him Aaron Jones, a very good running back, who has the ability to see the field sometimes like a quarterback in terms of understanding where the blitzes are coming from, great in pass pro, able to leak out, good in pass reception, and a hellified runner as well. And now Sam Darnold is looking like a top 5 pick, not to mention all the other talent around him. And Brian Flores, hey, coaching matters. Ask me right now where Brian Flores' next head coaching job is. Ask me. I want to let you know. Just ask me.
Glynn, where's Brian Flores' next head coaching gig?
It isn't. It doesn't exist. The NFL hates him right now. He still has a lawsuit against him. He ain't going anywhere, people. He's going to be on the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to be the defensive coordinator for the foreseeable future. Exactly. And do you know what organization right now has won several Super Bowls where the head coach isn't going anywhere because he's also the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator is happy to be the defensive coordinator? and they've won several Super Bowls. You know what that organization? Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yes, you're going to see something very similar. I would not be shocked or surprised if the Minnesota Vikings are at the very least playing for the NFC Championship. And it's not about me riding the bandwagon. I talked about these guys before the season began because of coaching, because of the structure. I'm getting back to my point earlier. The structure around them, good offensive line, depth at running back, depth at receiver. The tight end hasn't even played yet. The top tight end hasn't even played yet. They still got him waiting for him to come on. Waiting for Hawkinson to come back and play. And the defense. And now they don't have to just reintroduce or relearn the defense because the coordinator is not going anywhere. They can build on what they have and add wrinkles to it. And they drafted with their first round pick. They got Dallas Turner out of Alabama, who can be a chess piece and utilized all throughout the front seven. They're just going to get better. Help me out here. Understand something. And then let's go to Pittsburgh. I say this for last. Justin's removed. Now, is Justin doing great things? No, but they're getting better and they're getting more consistent. His confidence is growing. And why? Because the coaching staff isn't asking him to do things that he's not capable of. They're protecting him from himself, all the while developing and nurturing his skill set so that his athleticism can take over. Justin doesn't have to be a quarterback doesn't have to be a superstar to win every game. It's great if you have that. Sometimes you just need to win the moment. You just need to win the moment. And with Justin's athleticism, at times he can win the moment. With Malik Willis's athleticism, there are times where he can win the moment. With Josh Allen, with Buffalo, he can win moments, plural. You know, I mean, you saw last night, if you watch the Kansas City Chiefs and Falcons, Mahomes threw a bad pick in the end zone. But you know he's going to have moments that he can do that. He's done it time and time again. We're not at that point by any stretch, but we're trying to act like this young rookie should have to do all that and bearing the weight on it. And I'm almost done with my 17-minute rant here. The other thing is, it's like you've got, and it's classic, and it's a trope at this point. You put your players in positions to succeed, and right now the Bears are trying to do sprints when we haven't even learned how to walk yet. Learn how to walk, then learn how to walk sideways and backwards. Then learn how to walk while you're chewing gum. And then you can get to your jogging and your sprinting. But we're trying to do too much. It's the same thing. It's like we are haunted by the ghost of Getsy. It's like a naggy Getsy monster is attached to us, and we can't seem to shake it. Where we're trying to do all this stuff that we see the great quarterbacks and the great offenses do before we learn how to block and run the ball consistently. It's a new offense. There may be new schematics in terms of the blocking and how they're asked to block that this offensive line is still thinking about doing. And until that gets set, until you can run and get 3 yards off a running play, what did the Colts? I'm showing my age. What the Baltimore Colts? What did the Colts end up doing yesterday? They said, "Hey, you know what, Richardson, you're killing us. Stop it. We will get a ball to our best running back, to our top 10 running back in the league." And an offensive line that's been a top 10 offensive line for the last several years. And they ended up winning the game,
Nelson.
Losing it. Yeah, and you know what? Running behind Nelson, you know what that reminded me of? Shawn Alexander running behind Steve Hutchinson. It's not complicated, man. It's not complicated.
But people want to be. And this is why Steve, my producer Steve, created this thumbnail for the show today, and it could not have been more freaking perfect. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. We're on the same wavelength. It's crazy. You know what? The reason why we're on the same wavelength is because if you have two eyes and you've been paying attention, it's obvious.
And all you need is half a brain. You don't even need a full one. You just need a half a brain. Ain't that the same dude as the last dude run? And then the same stuff the other dude ran? Dude, when I saw this thumbnail, I'm like, you could not have. I couldn't even think of that. I'm like, dude, that's why you're the producer and you're the creator, Steve-O. But dude, that shit was on point. I'm like, that is on point. Apropos. Man. Yes. So we talked about, and I've mentioned, and I'm an advocate, a very big proponent of coaching matters. How much of the blame does Waldron, or more importantly, Chris Morgan get? Because Chris Morgan's the guy that they forced down Waldron's throat. He's here. You got to use him. You don't get to bring your own line coach in. You got to use this guy. And so for me, I'm a little concerned because I asked this, guys, you remember me asking this last week. I said, is there or could there be a rift between and Shane Waldron. Because how the hell on the goal line do you have 4 of your 5 offensive linemen on the ground, and the last one is chasing the guy he was supposed to be blocking? Do you think there's an issue there? And I can't call Timo because my guy King Book said he doesn't get a nickname until the offensive line plays better. So he's Chris Morgan.
He's Chris Morgan. Okay. No relation. Just wanted to make that clear. Just, no
Separate yourself. I got it. A
lot of Morgans out there. A lot of Morgans. I have a hard time putting the onus on a position coach. I just do. Because part of this job and part of life is communication and being able to communicate. And what is essential in communication is not just me speaking and getting my agenda out, and so that you hear the words coming out of my mouth and understand them. That's part of it. But the most important part is actually listening. We go to school, they never teach us. There's no class on how to listen. They just assume. It's assumed that you're listening. And that's an issue with communication. And so you have to have people listening as much as there are those that are conveying whatever the message is. So I think there's a disconnect. I don't think it's irreparable. I think it's still new, and the expectations placed on it, and the onus of those expectations, and being in the city and Hard Knocks adding to that. Everything is elevated. So even at 1-2, which could very well have been 0-3, or could have been 2-1. All depends. At this juncture right now, we are what we are. We are what the record says. But right now, the disconnect is obvious and it's glaring. So again, you have to reassess. You can't wait for the bye this time. You need to do it, yesterday, really, and understand that we need to be in a better. I blame Eberflus to some extent. I really do. Aside from the timeouts, you hear the play being called. Hell no. We're kicking the field goal before it even goes to, you trying to make it on 4th and 1. Or hell no, you're doing that play, timeout. If you're going to use timeout, burn it right then. You know what I mean? There are things the head coach should see and do. That's the difference between someone like Eberflus and, say, Tomlinson. Tomlinson's going to be like, nope, timeout. We're not doing that play. This is what you're the CEO, so take control of your situation. I understand you won't let.
But Glenn, there's got to be this conversation prior. You got to be like, okay, if we're down and, on the goal line, what do you want to run? What are you thinking about running? Because to me, if it's not even the plays, it's your personnel. Like you're running without a fullback, or in fullback's hurt, so you don't have an extra tight end that you had. All 3 played yesterday because Mercedes Lewis had an offsides call, and we saw Cole dominating yesterday, and then he played as well. So you could have put Lewis in the background as a fullback, in the backfield, I should say, as a fullback. Like there's some personnel things. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? And I don't. That's where I'm concerned. Do you think that they need an identity, or is their identity already revealed that there is a little sissy soft sucker on offense?
No. That's too soon for all that. I think it has. It looks bad. It looks weak. The steel shot that you had with all the guys on the ground. You referred to that several times. It looks weak. And what I'm saying here is it looks bad because these guys are lost right now. They're not on the same page. They're thinking. They're steps behind. And now if you add being steps behind with I'm not sure. So I'm unsure and I'm a step slow. It's going to look worse. Yes, without a doubt. Yes. And I'm saying it's not a matter of them being soft, is my point. I don't think that's the case. You had an offensive line for the last 2 years that finished top 3 rushing. Now I realize Justin had a lot to do with that, but the offensive line did too. Let's not just say it was all just Justin. I mean, these guys were pounding guys. There were times where Khalil Herbert, 2 years ago, he was leading the league in yards per carry. He's like a forgotten guy. Roschon's doing really well. You take him out, you don't put him back in, and he's your
on the goal line.
Yes, on the goal line. So is that Chris Morgan's fault? No, it's not Chris Morgan's fault. He's not calling that play. That's Shane Waldron. There are points where the disconnect goes from the head coach to the offensive coordinator to the different position coaches that are there. And right now, the most glaring issue is at offensive line. But there are times when Odunze has not been on the same page. There's times where Caleb is there's times where Caleb is not making the right read or throwing late. So is that the quarterback coach's fault? Not necessarily. No, we want to point the finger at somebody. What happens when you point the finger? 4 more back pointing at you is how that goes. And that's the case right now. So the Bears cannot involve themselves in finger pointing. Everybody needs to look in the mirror. I know this is so tried and true. You've heard this 1,000 times, but there's a reason why, these things are tried and true, because they stand the test of time. Football is not an overly complex sport. There are nuances to it, and there are complexities to it, like anything in life. But at its fundamental core, it's not. And it's like these guys forgot how to play football. The coaches forgot how to coach football, I should say. Not so much the players, but the coaches have forgotten how to coach. Look, man, you drafted a punter in the 4th round, effing use him. Pin these suckers back, because you can tell that the offense for the Colts isn't doing anything. That guy's going to give you the ball if you let him. You make him go 80+ yards, he's gonna give the ball, or the offense is going to stall. Unless, of course, the other coaches, which is what they did, said, hey, let's focus on what we do. We know we can run.
Yes, exactly what they did.
So the Bears need to strip all the fancy plays, all the plays that involve doing this, reading that, whatever the case is, really simplify things, which really should have been the focal point going forward. Because as dynamic as your rookie quarterback can be at times, he's a rookie quarterback who hasn't played in the NFL before. Help him out. Don't put him in that situation. Hey, this guy, you may have heard of him, name's Pat Mahomes. He sat for a year. And that team was loaded. He could have come in and played, but Alex Smith was there. But he could have come in and played. You had players around him. You had coaches in place. He still sat for a year. There's a reason why in his first year starting, he came out guns a-blazing, because he'd been around it. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. I know he's behind Brett Favre. But Mark Brunell sat behind him. Matt Hasselbeck sat behind him. Aaron Brooks sat behind him. All 3 of those quarterbacks I just mentioned, Brooks, Hasselbeck, and Brunell, all went to other teams, and all those teams went to playoffs.
Yep.
Why? Because they were at their fundamental core, they understood the game, and they sat behind, and they watched, and they learned. Malik Willis gets there in less than 30 effing days, and the coaches say, do what you can do. This is what we have for you. You don't need to deviate. If you see this, then do that. I mean, it's not complex. It's frustrating. Take advantage. If you're the Bears coaching staff on the field, take advantage of field position. Why are you asking Santo to kick a 56-yard field goal? That's not his strength, man. And then you're giving up field position. Why would you do that? Seriously, punt the ball. Use your punter to bury him inside the 10-yard line, maybe the 5-yard line. Don't even punt it to where it can bounce back. Angle punt it, coffin corner, kick it. I mean, he's that talented. He's an All-American. And you did. Why? It's the first half. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Field position. Your defense can generate and create turnovers, and we've seen them score. They almost want, if Gordon gets that pick, if he actually secures it last week, the Bears probably win that game again because of the defense.
Yep.
What are you doing here? Stop making it difficult, man.
Guys, we're joined by Glynn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, you brought up a lot of great points. Use your punter, all right, instead of the 56-yarder. The defense was great. So all of a sudden now, when people were talking about Eberflus being a potential coach of the year candidate, now all of a sudden people are talking about are calling for his head. How do you think that seat is starting to get hot, or is it still too early in the season for the seat to start getting hot?
Hot, no. Lukewarm, yeah, they're running in the water right now. Or they're getting the coals. This is where you might make your grill. You're putting the coals in there and you're stacking them, and you got the lighter fluid. You haven't lit anything yet, but you got the lighter fluid. So it's not hot, but it's the preparation is there, and it's things that really at its fundamental core shouldn't be as mistake laden. And Eberflus doesn't have the benefit of saying, well, we've got a whole bunch of new players on the team. You do, but not as many as you had last year. Definitely not the sacrificial lamb that he was his first year as a head coach. Mm-hmm. You got to be better than this at this point. You have to be the reason why you don't add to the reasons why you're losing. You follow what I'm saying? You can't be something that is part of the problem, part of the mix. It's got to be like, well, we did this, so this can happen. And it has to be seen. You shouldn't have to say, the king shouldn't have to say he's a king. A head coach shouldn't have to say, I did all these things so we had an opportunity to try and position ourselves better to win. I understand during a press conference they're going to ask you questions, but it should be more rhetorical than you having to give a long explanation as to why you did X, Y, Z. It should be pretty obvious why you did it. You're just explaining, for the most part, that should be the case where you're just explaining to kind of, ferret it out and give a couple of one-liners. But when you sit there, you have to explain everything you're doing and the reasoning behind why you are blowing timeouts and why you're giving up field position. You're doing too much explaining. And again, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And that's where he's finding himself right now. So, yeah, man, you got to be the CEO, get that offensive coordinator in there and say, look, man, boom, scrap all this stuff, get to this. Get the offensive coordinator, get the offensive line coach, get the quarterback coach, get the running back coach. Understand your personnel. I don't know if Herbert's in the doghouse. It's not like he sucks. Is he Taylor? No. Is he Bryce? No. Is he Saquon? No. Is he at a first name basis? No. You're not there, but you're this solid running. It's a good running back room. But damn, we're making him look bad. It's Swift. You're utilizing him the wrong way. Stop trying to have him going between the tackles majority of the time. I understand if he's out there, the tell might be, okay, you're more perimeter oriented. Well, yeah, but if that's the case, the other things you can do by having him out there. If he's perimeter oriented, you can be moving a linebacker out of the middle of the space, and you can be opening something up underneath, or whatever the case might be. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm just playing one when I'm doing the video games. But other than that, it shouldn't be so that you can't do the things that are necessary. There are times where you got your big backs. Don't, by the same token, stop having Roshan trying to do a sweep with him. That's not his strength. He doesn't have that explosiveness to do the sweep. You do him a toss play, maybe
or
trying
Swift,
to catch the defense,
or Swift punch it in from the 1 yard line.
Exactly. Like it's like I understand sometimes the defense knows what you're doing, but that's where the execution comes in, and that's where
you still got to stop it.
Right. I'm a better man at doing this than you're a better man at stopping me from doing it. You have to have that mentality. And offensive linemen, what do they want to do? They want to hit the guy in front of them. They'll all tell you that. Stop asking me to be on my heels and go laterally when my guys are better pushing the people as opposed to sliding them side to side. They try to do that, and you see them get tossed to the ground because they're not foot forward. They're not quite on their heels, but their balance is off. Their weight distribution isn't where it needs to be, and so then they get tossed around looking like, oh man, he weak as hell. No, he's off balance. The guy took advantage of it. Leverage. Essentially, I'm talking about leverage here. When it comes to offensive line, we are being out leveraged pretty much almost at the snap. That shouldn't happen, and that's between the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator. It really is. It really is.
So Shane Waldron sits. Like I said, I'm going to give him one more week. But he's making me look like an asshole, man, and I'm really pissed. Like I was on the soapbox with this dude saying this guy has made adjustments from Russell to Geno. His personnel groups are good, and I liked a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets. Where are those? Where are those that we saw when he was with Seattle? We got 3 tight ends. We could put 2 tight ends down, 1 in motion, all right, as a fullback and lead the way. Like that's the thing that bugs me is that does he not feel confident in his offensive line? Because if you did, you're like, guess what? We're gonna punch you in the mouth. We're going right here. My first question was, why aren't you going after the dude who came in for DeForest Buckner? Why aren't you going after him? Why aren't you going wham block him? You man, I'm telling you, the guy Armando Lara Jr. He and I played ball together. Whenever a dude got subbed, or if the starter got hurt, or dude wasn't playing, dude, we exploited that dude. We came out. Oh man, we trapped him. So I don't. Again, you said it earlier, and I'm saying it again. I'm repeating it. Why are you making this so difficult? Why they gave up average 275 yards or 3? I'm sorry. They averaged 237 yards a game, and you still didn't want to go and attack it. You didn't want to bring in the heavy utility with Roshan Johnson and a fullback and say we're going downhill at your weakest spot, the dude who just came in. That to me, that's bothersome. All right, because if he's able to stop it, okay, well then here's what I have off it in case he can stop it. Here I have play action, tight end pop. this Shane Waldron has got one more week for me before I go nuclear on him, because I was not pissed. I mean, I was not happy. I was extremely pissed that they're in their refusal to run the ball. And people say he ran it 38 times. We see how many plays we had. It was crazy. We had 80-some plays.
Yes.
Can you explain to me why the hell Caleb's dropping back 52 times in passes? Ridiculous.
No, I can't. And I tell you what, like I said, I was at the bowling alley watching like the first half for the most part. And you know what I started hearing people say? Is this your king? Is this your king? Talking about Caleb. Because I'm like, man, brother's out here quoting Black Panther. Like, what is going on? Is this your king? I'm like, I feel you. Like right then and there, it's like, man, there's some, because you're asking him to do things and he's pressing. He's going to make bad plays. And that's what happens because he's a rookie. They apply pressure to where, what was the Colts game plan going in? We talked so much about our game plan, and obviously it wasn't a good one. The Colts had to be something like, okay, take away their run, make them one-dimensional, make the rookie beat you.
And the run game wasn't, in the run game that they had very, very daunting. That wasn't a daunting task. Like, all right, we got to stop a half-ass run game and make this quarterback beat you from the pocket, and make sure we don't do anything screwed up on offense, because that defense can win the game for you. So as long as we don't screw up that much, and I think that was their game plan, and they followed it and they won. So I'm not very happy. I was frustrated because I was down in Indy yesterday, and man, it was crazy, bro. It was just nuts. So people were just complaining and bitching and moaning. And I'm sitting there watching, like, and we're sitting there and just talking like you said, common sense, like fullback, stop the shotgun runs. Stop the stupid freaking screens. Stop the quick screens. Stop, which is why the ghost of OC pass, that is so apropos. You could have thrown what the hell, John Shoop in there too. Steve O, you could have thrown John Shoop in there too.
Yeah.
It was nuts. So where do you think they go? What do you think they do from here? The Bears are off tomorrow. All right, hopefully this film session, I mean,
should be off tomorrow.
you telling. See, I'm old school, man, and which is why I do a little get off my lawn Shawn segment. But man, like it seems like there's not enough in your faceness in this NFL. Put it this way, with our team. Like, I don't see Chris Morgan getting up there and cussing out and calling to the carpet his offensive line. I don't see him doing that. I see you give me some old school offensive line coaches, I see that easily. Okay. It's bothersome. And I think that there's too many not trying to hurt people's feelings type of stuff in here. Well, like, look, you're getting paid 7 figures to block that dude in front of you who's getting paid 7 figures to stop to get in the backfield. You better man the hell up. All right. If this is too much for you, too much testosterone, find another job. Go be a tech or go be an analyst or something. But something. It's bothersome to me that well, I don't see you blocking Devondre Sweat from the Tennessee Titans.
No,
I don't see that happen.
And I'm not going across the middle trying to catch a pass with Roquan Smith lurking either.
So what do you think? What do you think Shane should do going into next week? I said that this team had a chance. They still do. If they come out 6-3 after the first 9 games, remember, guys, I said that's the 6-3 they got. I said they even have a chance to go 7-1, 7-2. Excuse me. All right. You got the Rams who suck, and unfortunately, the Rams won yesterday. They had 3.
Do they suck or they're just not healthy? Are they not healthy or do they suck? Because a suck team would have lost to the 49ers, trailing by 10 going in the fourth quarter.
True. They had a big win.
Yes, a well-coached team doesn't suck. They're just dealing with injuries right now. So that's the difference. I'm sorry, but please continue.
Yeah, so they got the next couple of games. They got the
Panthers,
the Rams, the Panthers, and then Jacksonville. That's 3 teams. I mean, then after that, you got a nice little trio again of other teams that are not good that started off slowly. So I still think there's a chance we can get to 6-3. If we can get to 6-3 and we can split the last 8 games 4-4. That's a nice season.
You're such an optimist. I love your optimism. I love your fandom.
Well, my thing is this: is that by the time they get done with the Patriots after week 10, which is 9 games, your offense better be rolling. You better know exactly who the hell you are after 9 games. I can see right now we're still trying to figure it out, which is again, Glenn, which is why I asked, why did you not play this team, this offense, more in the preseason? Why did you not put even in the Hall of Fame game? And I know people are like, oh, the Hall of Fame game. I said, I don't give a rat's ass if you had 3 times he turned around and handed the ball off. I don't care. I need to get rid of the speed of the game. That's just that. And then why did you play in the fourth game? I know I could give a rat's ass about the bottom of the line of the roster that you're trying to sort out. I need the top of this roster to be rolling. The NFL gave you a gift of that extra game, the Hall of Fame game, where you had Caleb Williams, a new quarterback, learning a new system with new players, a rookie quarterback, to get actual game time action, and you didn't use it, and that's bothersome, and that falls squarely on the shoulders of Matt Eberflus. And you know what? If it doesn't fall on his shoulders, it falls on Ryan Poles' shoulders for saying don't play him. But Eberflus should have said, hey, we got this extra game. Let's get this guy 2 series, all right? 3 handoffs. All right, if we get a first down, cool. On 3rd down, we'll pass. 2 more handoffs and a pass on 3rd down. There's things you can do to mitigate him getting hurt. 3-step drops. You want to not get him hurt? Throw that stupid ass quick screen that you throw all the time. Hit a slant. Hit a. You know what I mean? All these things you can do that you can get him accustomed to the speed of the game without getting him hurt. And they blew it, and that bothers me because you can't get that time back.
No, you can't, and it's a different NFL. There's one less preseason game, obviously, for all the teams, and practicing isn't what it used to be. These guys are, because of collective bargaining, the practicing situations are different than what it used to be. And nowadays, for whatever reason, I don't know who started it, where the starters don't play most of the preseason games at all. So yeah, you're going to be behind. And the whole NFL, the first couple of weeks, a lot of offenses look bad. You know, and the defenses looked a little bit better. The offenses
a lot of field goals, not a lot of touchdowns.
Right. And some of that is endemic to the sport anyway. The offenses always take a little bit more time, but when you're practicing less, it's going to take you longer. Unless you have a veteran unit in place already, it's going to take you even more time. And especially if you're bringing in new elements, new OC. This is really the 3rd year in a row where everything is pretty much almost all new. Now it's a new offensive coaching staff for the most part. New players at key positions, wide receiver, quarterback. The offensive line is the same, but what's being asked of them is different. So that's like new main running back. That's new. Defense looks really good. Why? Everything's in place, same guys. You sprinkle in a few people like Kevin Byard, he picks up going, no problem. You look at the year before last, it was a lot of new players, and that was new. And so it took time for the adjustment. And then your health has to be in place, and that hasn't been the case the last 2 years starting out. And then the year before that, it was a whole new organization, polls, coaching staff, getting rid of old players. So in the year before that, it was the old regime trying to hang on, trying to put disparate parts together. So nothing has been ever to the point to where I've been saying time and time again, to succeed in the NFL, to succeed consistently, have sustainability in the NFL, you need continuity, which we haven't had or haven't developed yet. It's getting there. It's getting better, but it's still underdeveloped. Continuity, which again will promote consistency. Once you have that, you can be the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can, even the Ravens, as much as their struggle, it wasn't going to last. And they probably let Dallas back in that game. They could have won that. You look at the Chiefs. You look at the Packers. Look at the Lions. Just look at our division. Everybody but us. Look at the Vikings. There's continuity all throughout our division, which is why going into the season, on your show before, I said the 2 best divisions in the NFL are both Norths for both conferences, AFC North and NFC North, because of the consistency, continuity, and the depth of players, especially players that perform well on those teams. The Bengals are struggling a little bit, but they'll get it back because they have continuity in certain key places. You look at the Saints. Saints got off to a roaring start. Why? Derek Carr's used to Kubiak's system, so it wasn't anything crazy. So he can navigate that and be the captain of that ship. That defense has been in place for the last 6-7 years. So they got off the train, they got on the train rolling, man. And they rolled through Dallas.
And Carr's like, hey, I got this guy named Alvin something or other who's supposed to be pretty good. Let me use him.
Yeah, and everyone focuses so much on these stats. I don't give two flying Fs about how many yards somebody passed for. Because you look at Sam Darnold yesterday. Sam Darnold under 200 yards, 184 yards, 4 touchdown passes. Oh, that makes a difference. Was it 34-7? That was the final score. I mean, come on, man.
I don't know if you caught me. I don't know if I said it when you were in the green room, but I said Hawk Harrelson put this the best. When I was talking about hollow yards or hollow stats, like don't tell me how many you hit, tell me when you hit them. All right, and that's the most important thing. And you nailed it. You know, is Sam Darnold under 200 yards? But when they're put in position when they needed those yards, he got them. When they needed those completions, he got it to the receiver. And now that's the thing that we're missing right now. You know, there's a couple plays where we needed, and Caleb missed. We needed a receiver drop. We needed and miscommunication on the receiver and the quarterback. That has to be ironed out. Continues to do that, it's going to be a hell of a long season. I was talking about the one where Rome was going up the left sideline and Caleb thought it was a comeback and he threw it, and you saw that Rome's still running the ball like 15 yards behind him, and it's like, that lack of communication is the issue. So this division is tough, man. You know, you talked about Sam Darnold, man. Just think this, and the one reason that I really hated this division is that all the play callers are really, really good. Really, really, really good. I mean, from Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, and OG Bobby Johnson, actually Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson up in Detroit. I was hoping he got a head coaching gig somewhere, man, like Callahan did in
with Cincinnati to Tennessee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the play calling and then all quarterbacks that they have in this conference are legit, young and legit. So we're gonna see how it plays out. Hey, Glenn, great stuff, buddy. As always, I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, man, definitely. You can check me out at Easy Smoking the GM podcast. From time to time, I'll pop up on Shawn's show here and other social media outlets. If you want to Twitter/X, it's Real Glynn Morgan at True Glynn Morgan. Yeah, man. Hopefully some other places. NBC Sports, not so much. Got about a week left, man, but I'll be on the Undercenter podcast. I think it either airs today or if it hasn't shown up already, I'll be out there in cyberspace as well. So keep your eyes out. And if anybody else has a platform and wants me to shout on their platform, just hit me up.
Dude, great stuff, man, as always. All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Guys, that's Glynn Morgan from the NBC Sports Chicago, draft analyst. Love having him on. He's very calm and, kind of settles me down because, I'm ready to go on that rant, dude. I'm ready to go on that rant. But I said one more week, make adjustments. But Jesus Christ. And tell you, that's why they don't want me in and maybe why they didn't grant me credentials, because they're just like, he's going to ask the question, like, why the hell you run some stupid ass plays? Like I asked Justin last year, like, he can't have that. I'm telling you, man, it is, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. And, why the stupid ass pitch on the goal line? Why no fullback? Why shotgun runs? Why all these things? Why? All right. Why do you have Cole Kmet blocking a defensive end? All right. I know they said max protect, but if you look on that particular play, Cole Kmet, it was Braxton Jones and Tevin Jenkins were double teaming the 3-tech. Why does Tevin need help with a 3-tech? That was another thing. I was so, my goodness, like that whole thing where I'm talking about the play late in the game where Caleb steps up in the pocket. Great job of sensing the rush, steps up in the pocket, but Lalu comes around. Cole Kmet, strip sack, ball on the ground. They recover. And mind you, Caleb had gone. Was that the second? He had two drives of 70 yards, or 70 plus yards. And we were talking like, man, it's going to be good. It's win time now, win time. And sure enough, couldn't do it. And the defense gave up the touchdown at the end, and it messes with them. But you can't ask the defense to stop a team from scoring from 30 yards out. Not on a consistent basis. And I know the defense understands that they have to carry the load for the most part. But man, you can't ask them, to give up to stop a team from going 30 yards for a score. Not consistently, no. So I think whatever you need, whatever you need to do, you need to have a meeting. Should have been on a plane yesterday going home. So okay, we got to do something different. Shane Waldron, first of all, find out when Kari Blasting game is ready. But secondly, if not, get a tight end in there. All right, we need to set the tone. We need to set, and it's bothersome as a team, the inability to identity. Like, why wouldn't you just continue it as a run, as a running team? Okay, and Mashawn, yes, you are 100% correct. You said Waldron doesn't use these running backs properly. I agree. Glenn said it as well. Why are you using Roschon Johnson on a sweep, an outside run? Get him up between the tackles. All right, get him up between the tackles. If you're going, and here's the thing, you can change blocking schemes during the game. It's okay. But use the running backs appropriately. You want the outside zone? Give me DeAndre Swift, but more importantly, give me Khalil Herbert. Why is he in such a shit position? Is he in a doghouse? What's all that about? Why are we not seeing Tyler Scott? You talk about stretching the field, and here's one way, a guy who can definitely stretch the field. What's going on in practice? I understand Khalil Herbert's not a great pass blocker, but he's not afraid to stick his nose up in. So you can just fake the outside zone and roll and bootleg the other way. So it's frustrating to see, and I don't care if you know that, with Khalil Herbert that we're going outside zone. Well, Khalil Herbert and DeAndre Swift can go outside zone. All right, I think you can. I don't understand. One more week for Shane, and then I'm gonna have my full blown get off my lawn Shawn segment, because there's just far too much talent that you have at your disposal. There's far too much talent that you have that you don't know your groupings. All right, Eberflus, you too. All right, Papa, I'll see you. Thanks, Glenn. Eberflus, how the hell do you not know you're going for 2? Timeout. These are all things that need to be talked about in the game. All right, these have to be. No, Cornelius, we don't need to practice. We have a guy. We have Roschon Johnson who can run between the tackles. We don't need to scout practice squad players, other practice squads. We got a guy. We're from Chicago. We always got a guy. I got a guy. We got a guy. They just don't use him. Hell, the clip you saw, he ran up the middle, plowed through somebody, ran through the defense, the safety, ended up for 8-9 yards. That works, so let's not run it again. It's what it seems like is happening with this Bears team. That works. Let's not run it again. So, needless to say, I'm livid. Needless to say that this, and here's the issue. I don't think the sky is falling, although I think it's overcast and cloudy right now. But I think that as we see what's going on, we see what needs to be done and them not addressing it. The first play that whoever the hell was the replacement for DeForest Buckner, he's getting trapped. Gonna knock the dog snot out of him. Dog snot out of him. and let you know it's going to be a long day, Papa. Derek Carter says, Shawn, I'm so pissed. Did you see Justin Fields in a fishing game? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, Shorty, the Rams. The Rams are here next Sunday. Brandon, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. We beat the Tennessee Titans week 1. Well, maybe you didn't because that's why he asked me. Yeah, Tennessee Titans week 1. So here's where coaching matters. All right. What do you go into with these guys? There's no passion. There's no, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be enough, a sense of urgency for me. All right. Everyone says in this building, you don't know what goes on in this building. You're right. I don't, but I can tell you what, I can tell you what's going on in that building by the way you play. That's what I can tell by the way you play. This defense did not come out ready. This offense did not come out ready. Efficient means game manager, not superstar. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to be a superstar to win games. You just have to use the talent around you. And I'm not sure if you're talking about Justin, but he's been pretty good. 245 yesterday. This is Tutty. And then he also had a rushing touchdown. That's what we needed. We're down on the goal line. All right, that threat. And don't tell me Justin wasn't a great passer on the goal line, because then I know you. And then I'll say you're completely wrong and you're completely biased. And Justin was great in the goal line. Having that dual threat, some of his passes, his best pass on the goal line. I don't know if it was Jesse James or I think they're playing the Niners, where he's rolling left, throws right. Okay. It took 3 games for Caleb to throw for almost 400 yards. Justin did it once. Never. I hear you, Shorty, but again, what did the yards did we win? You know what I mean? Did we win? And I'm not looking at the yards. I'm looking at did you win? So would you be better if Caleb threw for 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, and we won convincingly, or would you want him throwing 400 yards? Shorty, it's not about the yards. I told you that. Now, if he got those yards efficiently, yes. Take 45 yards off that number. Those are actually 44. Take 44 yards off of those numbers, because that Hail Mary at the end of the first half was 44 yards. So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not a solid 300. You're like, oh my God, that's great. And I'm not trying to diss. Believe me, I'm not trying to diss. It'd be 320 yards. 319 yards, actually. Okay. I agree. Throwing 52 passes a game, no, we don't have that. If you have to throw that much, that means your passing game isn't effective. If you have to throw the ball that much, or it's a shootout. We did. But if you want to go back to the 14-game losing streak, well, think of the receivers that he had to throw to, and think of the defense that Justin Fields had. All right, his first year they tore down the defense. Okay, the second year so you can't come at me with, well, with that. Look at the situation. You got rid of Roquan Smith. You re-signed Akeem Hicks. Robert Quinn, you got it. You traded away all those guys that you traded. You tore the defense down to the studs, and you still wanted Justin to win. And we were still in just about all those games that we lost. We were one-score games because of him. Nope, stats don't win games. Mr. Shorty says stats do win games if those last two possessions in the last two games are winning drives, but they're not. They weren't. You know? Mr. Shorty says, my point is Caleb was this 2 game-winning drives in a row. Justin wasn't that dude. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion, and I disagree with it. All right, because what happens if Pittsburgh continues to win and they make the playoffs, go deep in the playoffs. All right. You're also talking, you're saying Caleb was this close to game-winning drives in a row. What about the defense? Did they have nothing to do with it? Like, come on now, you can't put all this on Caleb. And I get it. You know, a lot of people were part of the Caleb cult, and I said this was going to happen when Caleb, if he has decent gains, decent numbers, like, oh, he's that dude. Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a hell of a lot more than Justin ever had. All right. He said, Mr. Shorty says, Shawn, 55 passes simply means Caleb can throw because our running game sucks. Okay. And did we win? That's the whole thing. The fact that you can throw, anyone can throw the ball 55 times if you're a quarterback. All right. Anyone can throw it. Does it amount to a win? No, it doesn't. And it didn't. That's the whole thing. The thing is, you didn't take advantage of their weakness. You didn't attack the run. You didn't construct a game plan that was going to attack their weakness. Their best defensive player, their 3-tech, their Pro Bowler was out. And so you relied on that. So you passing the ball 55 times, okay, gives you a lot more room, a lot more chances for error, like having Cole Kmet on a defensive end. Having Cole Kmet on a defensive end. Latu from UCLA. Okay, you're at Cornelius, right on point. Tomlin is using Justin the way we were begging our OC to use Justin for years. Yes. And that's the thing. Ask quarterbacks to do what they can, not what they can't. The more you put you're asking a rookie quarterback to throw 55 times, Shorty, that's not a good formula at all. Not a good formula at all. 55 times? Mahomes doesn't even throw 55 times. Why? Because he's efficient. He's efficient. And that's the whole thing. I know we ran the ball 38 times, but I don't think the types of runs and the personnel groups were good. Just saying. But damn, guys, 2 hours has come and gone. We can reconvene. Armando Jr. says, Cornelius, you hit it on the nose when you talked about OC using Justin properly in Pittsburgh. Listen, guys, 2 hours has come and gone. I want to thank Glynn Morgan for coming on. Excellent, excellent stuff. I love it. I love it. All right. The voice of reason. So I want to thank Glynn for coming on. Great stuff. I appreciate him. Everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago. All right. Ellie Baez, the executive producer, Clarence Counsel, our social media guy, my co-host in absentia, and I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. All right, guys, have a great day. We can continue this debate on Wednesday as we prep for the Rams, but do not throw the ball that much. Not with a rookie quarterback. A lot of things can happen. A lot of bad things can happen, and they have. All right, so for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Guys, have a phenomenal day. Your boy is out. Oh, I'm sorry. This will be replayed at 6. All right. Sid and Lakina are coming on at 12:15. And Now your boy is out.